In its own way, from the food they serve to how it's prepared in their custom manufactured truck. Food Truck Talks, Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Sponsored by Prestige Food Trucks.
Robin, let's try a little plant trivia. Name this nursery. It's a not-for-profit, and it teaches growing and caring for plants to their students.
Oh, that's easy. Kenny's Place.
Or how about this one? It's a nursery conveniently located between Ocala and Bellevue.
Again, it's Kenny's Place.
Or how about this one? A nursery with a wide variety of just what you need or want at the most reasonable prices.
Kenny's Place, of course.
Kenny's Place at 7677 Southeast 41st Court. Give them a call at 867-1213. It's a caring place for people and plants. It's Kenny's Place.
All right, 6 minutes after 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. We're kind of excited. Lee Grant is going to be on with us in just a few minutes, and we've got a little time here that I wanted to talk to you about becoming an expert at something. Lee Grant obviously became an expert at being an actress. If you remember Peyton's Place, if you remember, oh gosh, what were some of the other things that she was in? I do have the list right here. Valley of the Dolls, In the Heat of the Night, Plaza Suite. Her friends list is a name dropper's paradise. I don't know what to say right there, but one of her friends, was she married to Frank Sinatra, Robin? I don't want to say that to her.
I don't think so. I don't think she was married to him. I know he was married to a few of the A-listers, but I don't believe it was her.
But she says, after my first season on Peyton Place, I was nominated for an Emmy. Entering the banquet hall, I was terrified a hand from the FBI would touch my shoulder and turn me in. She was in trouble because she was
married to the guy.
She signed up to be in the Liberal Party, which I don't even remember a liberal political party, but why would that be such a bad thing? But anyway, so false identification, posing as a what? She was at this point in the book, she's concerned about being accused of having false ID. Anyway, she says, I remember walking across my first red carpet wearing my first formal dress since high school, my heart pounding with fear of being exposed. And then in quotes, this woman is an imposter. The real Lee Grant is un-American, blah, 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 unquote. So she says, as I was standing backstage shaking, Frank Sinatra walked over to me. He was there with Mia. I guess it would be Mia Farrow, right?
Yeah, he married her.
His eyes were a steady blue. He took my ice-cold hand in his warm one. He knew everything.
Of course he did.
And was on my side and was saying, cool it, without saying a word. I'm so astonished these moments are still inside of me, and I won. I won. From 3 nights a week, Peyton Place would have gone to 5, or could have gone to 5. The line between the audience and the characters on the show was so fine. My character's father died on a Friday. Saturday afternoon, I drove into Santa Monica to buy shoes. I was trying them on when the clerk who was waiting on a lady nearby crept over to me. Excuse me, he said. That lady wants to know, isn't today your father's funeral?
Wow.
People thought Peyton's Place was so real.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
That
it's
is.
just so cool. So anyway, she was obviously an expert at being an actress, so I just thought I would share that. And that's what I want to do right now. Before she comes on, I want to talk to you about becoming an expert at something.
Okay.
You can become an expert at anything, and this information I'm getting from experts. Mm-hmm. Experts on becoming experts. And the way to do it is with something called deliberate practice. Now, those two words right away make sense, right? Because you're trying to learn a musical instrument. What do you want to do? Deliberate practice, right?
Yes, every day.
But I want to read to you one paragraph about a sports figure named Kobe Bryant. All you sports people know Kobe Bryant. And this is an example of doing what are they calling it in this article? Like subcategories. If you want to become world class, better than average at anything. Sometimes you'll hear about people practicing some 10,000 hours and thereby becoming a master at that specific skill. In truth, the idea of dedicating 10,000 hours to anything sounds so daunting that the idea itself seems scary. But hold on, there is another way. All it takes is 1 hour of deliberate practice each day. And then it is explained. A psychologist and scientific researcher from the Florida State University, K. Anders Ericsson is his name, clarifies in his paper titled The Role of Deliberate Practice in the Acquisition of Expert Performance, that people believe that because expert performance is qualitatively different from normal performance, the expert performer must be endowed with characteristics qualitatively different from those of normal adults. In other words, you have to be special. but you just have to put in a special amount of time. That's all. Whatever it is you want to become fabulous at. This view had discouraged scientists from systematically examining expert performers and accounting for their performance in terms of the laws and principles of general psychology. In other words, the prevailing opinion was that people who had expert-level skills had to necessarily be endowed with some sort of innate talent, built in, born to them. These talents couldn't simply be picked up by the lay people who were not gifted with those natural abilities. What they're basically trying to say is that you could do anything you want to do. My feeling on this is always this. If you've got a tendency, a desire, a passion to become a great ball player, a great cellist, a great speaker, a great anything, then there is ways for you to practice that so that you can become that thing which would make you an expert or great, somebody who is great at that.
Or a baker or a military man.
So, right. Around the same time as the research was being conducted, John Hayes, another psychologist, he is from Carnegie Mellon University, he concluded that the best way to practice is to set about improving skills, each by focusing largely on improving by sub-skills that the overall skill is comprised of, one skill at a time, one sub-skill at a time. Okay, so here's where it goes to Kobe Bryant.
Okay.
Kobe Bryant would spend hours upon hours deliberately practicing 800 jump shots rather than practicing the whole game. Before most of us would even get up in the morning, he would do 800 jump shots every morning.
Wow.
800 of them.
Wow.
He recognized that mastering the sub-skill of jump shots would propel him into master status far more efficiently than any other skill. He focused his energies on his specific move, the move that he understood to have the most upside, and that amount of time, the amount of time simply didn't matter to him. He just wanted to become an expert at it. So, I mean, you can apply that to whatever it is you're trying to become an expert at, and just keep practicing. The best example, and it is the example that I relate to because I play musical instruments, and it is that. So to break it down, I guess you would say, okay, I don't want to practice the whole song. I just want to practice 2 measures of it, or some people call them bars.
Yeah.
2 bars. They're called measures.
Yes, they are. They're called measures.
But anyway, I mean, you just practice those, or you practice just the left hand on a piano. On a guitar, you can't just do one hand, obviously.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to hear it. Well, you could. There are people who do that. But anyway, I just thought I would share that with you. Deliberate practice is an article. You can find it online. Just type in deliberate practice.
I think that's cool advice.
Rob Nightingale is the person who wrote the article that I was just reading from. There's a lot more to it than that, but I just thought you would enjoy that one. And
that was great.
And you can do it. What's interesting is when you realize how long you've been practicing at the things that you are good at. You don't realize that you became good. I'll never forget this realization, Robin, when you and I first decided to switch over from guitar and tambourine, basically, to accordion and mandolin.
Yes.
It was kind of a real struggle, and it didn't seem like it didn't. And for me too, it didn't seem like practicing was really going to make much difference. But all of a sudden, from having done it every day, all of a sudden it started coming together. And the same thing is true for this. And it's hard to explain how you practice doing a talk show. It's a very catch-22 kind of a decision to make. If you're going to do a talk show, the best way to practice, unfortunately, is to actually do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is kind of weird because it means that in order to be good at this, you have to be on the air being bad at this.
Yeah.
And trust me, I was not good. I may not be good now. I don't know. But trust me, in the beginning, if you ever listen to my early tapes, which I don't even think I have them anymore, but you could clearly hear that I was a novice and a beginner. And anytime I hear a beginner on the air, when I hear somebody new and they're struggling with it, I just say, go for it. Don't give up. If anybody's picking on you, don't worry about it. Just do what you got to do, and guess what? It'll start coming to you. Some people, it'll click quicker than others, but after a while, because you are a little bit. Here's why you can't just sit at a coffee table with a friend and interview a friend, and you can't use that for practice. Here's why: because there's something that changes when you know you're on the air.
Yeah.
Something that changes mentally, and you're suddenly distracted by that understanding. You're distracted by the knowledge that you've got people listening.
Yes.
That's a distraction. It's an invisible distraction, but it's clearly a distraction. And you sort of have to get past those distractions. If you're operating your own mixing board, which is what I do.
Yeah, because you produce it and you do it.
Right. Then you have that distraction as well. You have the equipment distraction. And it's hard to just kind of have a conversation with somebody while simultaneously you're moving buttons and monitoring the signal and everything.
Right, but you're very good at it.
Well, it's because I've done it. But I can remember in the beginning, I'll never forget when oh gosh. What do you call a lady who looks at the stars? Astrologer.
Yeah.
When the astrologer, Jeanette
Oswald
was in the studio. And I know you know the story. And I was so nervous, I kept calling her Jeanette MacDonald. And I didn't even know. I was calling her Jeanette MacDonald. All of a sudden, toward the end of the interview, she said, well, you've been so nice to me. Because it wasn't my show. I was substituting for somebody, either Bill Ashford or
Doug Clifford or somebody.
Yeah, one of those morning guys that used to do the show.
Yeah, they'd always call you to substitute when they were
right.
off
And
or
I'm interviewing Miss Oswald, and I called her Jeanette MacDonald. I don't even know Jeanette MacDonald. It's just a name I knew. And I guess she's a famous singer from Once Upon a Time. And here's how I know that, because she said, I just have to.
Nelson Eddy.
I want to correct you. She said, I'm flattered that you're comparing me to the beautiful singer Jeanette MacDonald, but I can't sing.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, I've been saying the wrong name the whole time. And her name was Jeanette Oswald.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you another mistake I made too.
Nice lady.
In early interviews, we were interviewing a man, an author who wrote a book about a horrendously bad guy. I mean, it was a real story. It wasn't a novel. So his focus of the book was this really bad guy. And I kept calling the author by the name of the bad guy. I confused the author and the guy he wrote about.
Yeah. Yeah.
And P.S., I can still make that mistake today.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you run your own board because, timing is everything.
Yeah, which means we have to make a move right now. All right, we'll take a little break. Lee Grant, Academy Award-winning actress Lee Grant. She's got a new book out. It's her memoir. It's called I Said Yes to Everything. Can't wait to chat with her. She's up next. This is The Source, WOCA.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. It'll be partly sunny today with a thunderstorm around during the afternoon hours, high 90 to 94. Tonight, partly cloudy. There can be a thunderstorm in spots near the coast early on, those 73 to 77. Tomorrow, partly sunny. Watch out for an afternoon thunderstorm, high 89 to 93. Thursday, sunshine mixing with clouds with a couple of thunderstorms around, mainly during the afternoon hours, the high 88 to 92. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Hi, I'm Seth with AA Lock, Dock, and Security. Have you ever thought about the locks or security on your house or business? Have you ever wondered why the keys to your new car cost so much? Well, at AA Lock, Dock, and Security, we can help with securing your valuables. We can even replace those expensive transponder keys. We can give you the knowledge that no one else will. Call AA Lock, Dock, and Security at 867-1965. That's 867-1965.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
Ooh, ouch. Does pain have you glued to the couch? Yes, unfortunately it's true that every year we must get older, but that doesn't mean we have to deal with pain in our back, knees, or shoulder. If your muscles and joints are sore, don't worry anymore. Come get acupuncture from me and you'll be pain-free. Acupuncture starts as low as $35 at a Better You Healthcare. Call me, Dr. Erica Olstein, at 615-5566. Stop your pain from driving you insane.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Coloring helps our brain downshift to more soothing alpha waves. That's because filling in the lines requires just enough concentration to keep your brain focused without risking any burnout. Lower testosterone means a man is less likely to stray and look for other mates after he becomes a father. Are your lips always dry or chapped? That is usually the first sign of dehydration.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Right here in the middle of the summer, it's time to talk some football. Follow me to Hoover, Alabama for SEC Media Days, made possible by the Briggs Law Firm, by HDG Hotels, and our thanks to Ocala Copy Center. It's football time, Hoover, Alabama, SEC Media Days.
Your source for the #1 sports weekends, Fox Sports, only on 96.3 FM, 1370 AM.
Prestige Food Trucks, the world's leading food truck manufacturer, specializing for the startup vendor all the way up to restaurant chains, is a proud sponsor of Food Truck Talks, the weekly show heard every Wednesday at 9 a.m. on The Source, WOCA News Talk, that brings you the inside scoop, ladle, spatula, spoon, fork, and plate from inside of the custom food trucks you see in and around town. Find what makes each food truck unique in its own way, from the food they serve to how it's prepared in their custom manufactured truck. Food Truck Talks, Wednesdays at 9 a.m., sponsored by Prestige Food Trucks.